Welcome to the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. This time it is favorite dishes in Europe. Food dishes, of course. Here with my good friend Chris, and
beer.
Let's talk food.
I'm the Mad Traveler. I'm traveling the world, and this is my adventure.
I think we were talking about this earlier, and two of our favorite, unequivocally favorite dishes, one from Spain and one from Germany, Paella and Schwienshaxe, otherwise known as pork knuckle. I'll cover Paella, because Paella is by far my favorite, and then I'll hand it off to you with Schwienshaxe. How about that?
Okay, that's great.
So I spent 3 months in Valencia some number of years ago, I don't even know anymore, and I gotta tell you, Valencia is the home of Paella, and oh my gosh, there was a restaurant there that was only open from 2 to 4, I think it was, and then 8 to 11. And it takes 45 minutes to make the paella. So you got to get there early. You got to get there on time, right when it opens. It is the most amazing dish ever. It's a rice dish cooked with, I believe, is it cumin?
Saffron?
Some other spices in it. And then they'll put in like some rabbit meat if you order the rabbit one, or you can get it with vegetables, and it's all cooked in one single dish the entire time. You can get the seafood one.
Or you can get mixed seafood and meat. That's the only time I've ever seen that. The two together was in paella.
Oh, and they cook it all in the same dish
with peas
the entire
and stuff.
time.
Yeah, peas and vegetables. Yeah.
And a lot of places you can only order it for at least 2 people, because they do cook it in one pan, one dish. And my description is not doing it justice, to be honest with you, but it is by far, above and beyond, one of my top dishes of all time, especially in Europe. And it just makes it happy. Go for a night out, have a nice wine with a paella. Oh, and the cool breeze of a summer night in Spain.
Rías Baixas, that's that area of Spain that makes that great albarino. That works very well with it.
I'm going to take your advice for it. I feel like I missed out with the wine paella experience personally. But my gosh. So now, although that description didn't do it justice, I'm very sorry about that. You have to try some paella if you go to Spain, especially if you're in Valencia. I recommend the rabbit paella. It's my personal favorite. Schwienshaxe. Tell us about Schwienshaxe.
Well, it's a rather large piece of meat. They say knuckle, but isn't it part of the leg?
Yeah, it's called pork knuckle in English, but it's not really. It's just a giant bone with part of the leg. Yeah.
And it has all the fat around it, and it's been cooked in that fat, and that fat becomes very hard and crispy. It's very tasty. Some people don't like it because they don't like that fat. But what it has done is made all the meat within very moist and very good. And so you can just cut it off. You got, in between the fat and the bones, there's all this fine
so
meat,
tender.
and there's all a lot of caves in and out, and you can just, it feeds 3 people wonderfully. I think it's because of its moistness and then that great crackling on the outside. That makes it really special.
What are the dumplings called? Is it spätzle?
Spätzle. Yeah. Spätzle. Yeah.
Spätzle?
Yeah.
Those are really nice. Those are nice. It was like little potato dumpling kind of things?
Yeah. And then there's the spätzle. It's like basically just pasta.
Yeah.
As well, and some are laced with cheese.
Pork knuckle, Schwienshaxe just makes it happy. Every time I sink my teeth into some, and you feel like a king with the big bone there, like a king from one of the cartoons.
Yeah.
It just makes it happy when you eat it.
Yeah, it's fun to share it too.
Man.
It's enough there that everyone can have a little bit of slice here and a slice there.
I tell you, I wish that in Germany they would replace all the Döner kebab shops with just Schwienshaxe shops. And they would just have like a row of them, so you come out of the bar or the club and just get a big Schwienshaxe. I don't know. Germans seem to self-identify with Döner at this point. But
part of the, and then one of my favorite foods is where we are right now with all these seafood pastas. In a way, when I think of Valencia or Barcelona, where you have your paella, oftentimes it's seafood because they're both on the sea.
Yeah.
And so they don't always take the best seafood. That's traditionally like bouillabaisse in France. They take the lesser known fish that's not sold for big prices, and they'll all mix it together. It's very good. And the same thing happens in Croatia and here in Albania. It's the fish pastas. Seafood pastas are wonderful. That's one of my favorite things in Munich as well. In Europe, yeah. And then I also would have to, if I want to include Greece, we didn't talk much about Greece. I love the way they do their calamari. Really crispy, not heavy, not breaded, just garlic.
Not fried with tartar sauce and everything else on.
And a lot of the tentacles are there, and those are tasty for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's. I think you really when you get some good seafood, you can appreciate it a lot more. You don't need to bread it and do all this other crap to it because it hasn't been frozen for a month. And
if we're talking about our foods, can we talk about picnic-like things? Like when you go to a beer garden in Germany, you can bring all your own, the best bread in the world, great cheeses and salamis and all the.
And you can still do that?
You can still do it in the beer gardens. It's free.
Man.
Just set it down. Put a checkered cloth down there. A lot of people bring candles, cutlery, plates, and boy, it's a feast. And it's all that good bread and butter and cheese.
I tell you, my Munich experience was definitely lacking because it did not include that. That sounds like heaven. So the only thing you get there is the beer. So you bring all your food, your cheese, your salami.
It's a law that the kings made way back in the day. Hey, you can sell the beer under the trees because they have a lot of trees because underneath is where they kept the beer and they wanted to keep it cool. But people were allowed to bring their own food. They didn't want them to be exploited. I mean, you can buy.
that.
You can buy it from the stands if you want to, but you can bring your own.
Bring your own food. That's
one of my favorite things in Europe too. If you want to throw in the favorite.
That's great. I mean, it makes me want to go to Munich right now and then go to Slovenia, or go to Slovenia and then go to Munich.
Yeah, they're only 6 hours apart, man.
That's it.
I've done it so many times. I know. Yeah.
Is there a train?
Yeah, there's a train.
Oh. You know, you go to Ljubljana for a couple days on the river, and then get a couple bottles of wine, maybe 4 or 5. Take the train. Go to the beer garden.
Make friends on the trains. Yeah. It happens. You know.
That's something special about Europe that you really can't get in the States. First of all, you can't drink so publicly in so many places.
Yeah.
And
you think you're a bad person. A bad person's not a bad person. Likes to have a drink or some rocky.
Just enjoying life a bit. Just going to the beer garden 6 hours away. You know, want to make sure
staying forever. Showing up at 5 and leaving at midnight. You know, it's only 7 hours. Yeah.
Oh man, that sounds great. Just like what we did on the mountain the other day. It was a perfect day.
What was that? 4 hours?
Oh no, we got up there at 1. We left at 6:57, 6:54 exactly.
That was 10 hours in a bar cafe
in Pristina.
In Pristina, night and day, man.
It's good. It's a lot more of a relaxing, kind of culture in Europe as far as that's concerned. The alcohol culture, I guess that ties in with food. I think is very positive in a lot of European countries. It's not as negative.
The wine and the wine and cheese is something that should never be forgotten, especially when you talk about France, which we haven't much. But I was like that as well. Just sitting around, like we had it. Was it your place or Camille's place?
We had a lot of wine at my place.
Cheese and wine really go well together.
Yeah. Man, I like it when French people, because I think wine is still subsidized in France, so it's really cheap there. So a really good wine is really cheap, and whenever you see a French person outside of France, they always bitch about the price of wine, even if it's cheap for everyone else. They're just like, "Oh putain, merde, it's so expensive! I just want a good bottle. It's not from France. Where's my good cheese?" They get so animated about it. The only thing they get animated about is striking and cheese and wine.
Yeah. I find it rather amusing.
It's so funny to see Camille when she gets upset. Merde putain, blah 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 blah. Shit. Why can't you guys understand French? I just want to curse in French and have you understand me.
This is for you, Camille.
We love you. Oh man. Right. You've left 2 days and we already miss you. Yeah. Oh man. good friends, good food, good wine, good drink. I don't know. That's why I enjoy traveling around Europe. I guess we forgot to do a bad or an ugly part of the food in Europe, but to be fair, if you don't like the food, don't eat it. Go to another restaurant. You're not really stuck anywhere.
Self-cater.
You're not really stuck anywhere where you can't.
Yeah. Go to the supermarket, get some yogurt and some bananas and some bread and some cheese. You won't starve.
Is there a food? Honestly, I can't think of a food that I really... There is one thing that I hate. Oh, actually, I like riisipiraka from Finland. It's this salty little pastry. It's also a slang word for a vagina because it kind of looks like a gaping one. It's disgusting if you think about it. It's open like this. It's a salty sort of pastry thing with rice in the middle of it. It doesn't sound great, but it hits the spot, and it works really well. And you buy them for like 80 cents.
Yeah.
They have this black candy there, which is like licorice. I think they called it a Turkish bomb. I don't remember. And but they love to give it to foreigners, and somehow everyone there seems to like it. They give it to you. You put it in your mouth. It just tastes like black licorice. And then someone says, "Bite into it." You bite into it. It's all liquidy and it just like explodes in your mouth with just the harshest. I don't know, just like Schnapps and Jägermeister had a baby and went to hell and came back, and would mix with. I'd like to buy a little home there and stay there for the winter and just go in the sauna and jump in the snow afterwards. Is there anything else you want to say about food?
No, but I'm just so focused on the Balkans, I can tell about my favorites. The elsewhere, it was just the beer gardens, the Schwienshaxe, and like you, Paella. All these other countries, I can't really think of what I can't remember. I don't know what I had Slovenia. I don't know what I had in Latvia, Estonia.
Isn't that funny?
I can't remember anything.
Of all the foods and all the places that we've been, the two that stand out so much are paella and Schwienshaxe.
Belgium fries.
I didn't like them.
Oh.
I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of hate mail because I didn't like them. They double fry them. They're super greasy. I thought
they were crisp, man.
Yeah, crisp and greasy. I didn't like it. It was too hyped up for me. And then I go to the best one in all of Ghent, and I'm like, okay, great, you're dousing it with mayo. I love mayo on fries, by the way.
You put it on the side.
No, but I love the mayo. But
the mayo's on the side.
But it was just the fries. I didn't like them. I don't like the double frying.
Okay.
And they were like, this place gets fresh potatoes in the morning and has the special grease that it fries.
I went there. I didn't know that they were they were all hyped up. I went there and I couldn't believe it. This is back in '76 or something.
Yeah.
I thought, wow, this stuff is great.
I liked the waffles in Belgium. They call them the tourist waffles because only tourists get them with all the stuff on top. I don't care if only tourists get them. They're so fun. Get the giant one with whipped cream and strawberries and chocolate, and it makes you happy. It makes you fat. Just makes you smile. I like that one. Cool. Vienna. I think it's called Kaiserwurst or something like that. I don't know. It's the sausage that they have that's really hot, and you can get it after you go out in the clubs. They sell them in the stands throughout the city. I think they're open all night or until 5 a.m. And inside these hot sausages, like freshly cooked, they put cheese. And I mean, it'll full on burn you if you're not careful, like the cheese exploding on your face.
Okay.
But you come out from a night of drinking at 3 a.m. and you go there and you get this nice greasy sausage with cheese in it. Oh, the best part of Vienna. Actually, not Cafe Sparrow.
I do like it's cliche. I do like the Wiener schnitzels.
Oh shit, yeah.
Because they take a long time to flatten them really lightly. I mean, really flat, thin.
And lightly breaded.
Lightly breaded, and then you always get that lemon with it at the end. They make sure they do it there, whereas they might not at other places in the Habsburg former empire.
I like how that it's not too much breading.
Right.
You know, like if it came from KFC, it'd have like this much breading on, just be the worst. You couldn't eat it. Just to compliment it. I think the best one I had actually was in Salzburg. Went to this local place. Oh my gosh, the Wiener Schnitzel was amazing. The beer was brewed at that restaurant. That's what I like, locally brewed beer, especially if it's from that restaurant.
Right.
You know, it's funny, one of our favorite foods is from Germany, which is not really well renowned for food. But I think like France, world renowned for food, right? But not the food just doesn't. So there's a lot of good quality food, but it doesn't just poke out. It's not any giant outliers.
Evidently, the gastronomical capital of France is Lyon. I was just there, and I was underwhelmed. I was underwhelmed.
Really?
Yeah.
I had some good food there, but it just felt overpriced for what you got.
I guess you have to go to Michelin, things.
Yeah, I think that's such crap. On the Travel Channel, right? They say the best food in the world, and it's a $500 meal.
Yeah.
Great, I'm not going to a $500 meal. Like when I made my video on Kobe beef, I told everyone, I said, this is a $100 meal. You're not going to eat this normally, and just know that that's what it is. They never tell you that shit on the Travel Channel, and I hate that. So, as you can tell, we love food and drink, and I think that's one of the big things you have to really partake in and enjoy when you're traveling around Europe. And that just about does it for this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Great.
Food in Europe. I hope you guys liked the video. Don't forget to leave your comments in the section below and give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And subscribe and hit the notifications button so you can see all the new videos. There's a lot more adventure to come.